Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. In an Australian first, NASA will launch its latest groundbreaking mission this week, right here in Tasmania. An aircraft is set to jet off from Hobart Airport on a 1-month journey to uncover more climate secrets from Antarctica.
Soaring above vast white sheets along the globe's icy south, this NASA G5, parked today here at Hobart Airport, is gearing to return back to Antarctica, set to take off from the Tasmanian runway in a first for Australia.
It's actually really exciting because we're getting to, explore a different part of Antarctica that NASA hasn't really explored before.
NASA launching its 10th and final instalment of Operation Icebridge, this time collaborating with the Australian Antarctic Division. The mission crew of around 30 will monitor the changing coastline of East Antarctica, both in the air and on the ground.
We are trying to explore what the reasons are for the change and how the atmosphere and the ice and the ocean system interact, and what it means if we experience even stronger and faster rates of change, which is the real concern that we have.
The data we collect can be used, to inform policymakers and future predictions of the Earth.
Taking with them a range of high-tech equipment.
We will take electromagnetic induction systems and some just GPS systems and tow them along the ice. Those instruments will continuously record the combined signals of the sea ice and the snow that's overlying it.
The mission, based from Hobart, said to be a major milestone for the country.
It will become a benchmark for the sort of research we do with other nations. We would hope that this work with NASA is an ongoing project, so we can continue this for years in the future, but it's just the start.
The team is expected to jet off on Friday. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A man accused of assaulting 3 police officers and a woman has today appeared in the Hobart Magistrates Court. It's alleged the 30-year-old bit and kicked the officers at Gage Brook on Monday. He was also charged with aggravated assault, drug and destroy property offences. The man has been remanded in custody until November 14. And a 19-year-old man has avoided jail time after holding up a supermarket with a knife in the state's north. The court heard Jared James Lodge was under the influence of methamphetamine at the time. Our reporter Ebony Ablett has more.
Jared James Lodge, who was 18 at the time of the offence, has walked free after holding up the Coles Kings Meadows store last month. Lodge pleaded guilty to armed robbery whilst under the influence of methamphetamines. The Launceston Supreme Court heard he entered the store just before 8 p.m, loading a trolley with more than $600 worth of groceries he did not intend to pay for. Attempting to leave via the fire door exit, Lodge approached a staff member and produced a 30-centimetre knife before forcing his way out. Followed by staff, he dumped the trolley filled with groceries outside the store before fleeing the scene. In sentencing, Acting Justice Brian Martin took into consideration Lodge's admittance of guilt, his young age and lack of prior convictions, saying, "It is apparent to me that you deeply regret what you have done, and I am confident you have excellent prospects of never offending again." Lodge was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months imprisonment, wholly suspended. Acting Justice Martin also imposed a community corrections order, 100 hours of community service and mandatory drug and alcohol testing.
Police are appealing for help to find a missing 13-year-old boy near Hobart. Billy Menzies was last seen in the Rose Bay area at around 9 a.m. yesterday, wearing grey trousers, a Rose Bay High School light blue polo and a navy blue hooded jumper. Anyone who has seen Billy or may know of his whereabouts is asked to contact Tasmania Police. Fire crews are tonight battling a blaze in the state's south after a bushfire broke out this afternoon. Our reporter Louise Hedger joins us now from Glen Huon. Good evening, Lou. What is the latest on the bushfire?
Joe, as you can see around me, there's multiple fire crews and a bit of a blaze still burning here on Sunny Hills Road. It is quite smoky still here in the Glen Huon. The blaze started around 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's believed it was an escaped burnout. That person then called that fire in. Multiple fire crews were called in. At last count, there are 11 crews here, including heavy machinery. There's also been 3 water bombing aircraft working to contain the blaze. It's at about 16 hectares at the moment. It's not currently threatening properties, but residents around this area, as always, are urged to keep an eye on the TFS website and remain vigilant. Fire crews are obviously trying their hardest to stop it spreading, as those bushfires did around this area earlier this year. As always with these big bushfires as well, there's a lot of smoke around, so anyone with any health conditions are urged to be careful with that as well. That smoke earlier had spread to the Hobart area. Now, Joe, that warning also goes for people in the Myena area in the Central Highlands. A bushfire message went out there for an advice message about half an hour ago for that area, so people around there urged to remain vigilant.
One of the state's most rugged and remote islands is now open to tourists, with the Tasmanian aviation operator officially launching its Tasman Island experience. The company received approval from the state government and expects around 100 visitors to take up the experience every year.
Sheer cliff faces and rugged terrain, this is Tasman Island. We received a bird's eye view of the site today in all its glory. Visitors will now be able to experience the same, with Rotolift Aviation today launching its new tourism venture, the Tasman Island Experience.
It's just the most spectacular and amazing location, and we always talked about the opportunity of one day being able to share it and making it accessible for everybody.
The fly-in, fly-out experience is for a minimum of 2 and maximum of 5 people, with this lighthouse, huts and guided walks all part of it.
Obviously, we've got days like today where it's picture perfect.
Visitors on this experience will be provided the opportunity to receive a taste of some of the most remote and spectacular areas our state has to offer.
You know, we've got tourism numbers absolutely on the increase. We've got locals who wish to go and see the property as well. And obviously with our guided tour and our process that we've been involved in, we're really excited to be part of all this.
The company received the go-ahead through the state government's EOI process, but some of that process has come under scrutiny, with some areas such as Lake Malbina opened up despite broad community pushback.
Now, I would take the view that the vast majority of Tasmanians embrace what we are doing.
The first round of the EOIs are publicly available, but the proposals in the second round are still kept behind closed doors.
The uses are generally in sensitive areas, and we need to ensure that we get it right. But the public will obviously know when we've made an assessment and we're moving to lease and licence negotiation.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Over the next 4 days, police say they will be out in full force targeting dangerous driving and hooning across the state. The public is also urged to supply video footage of any reckless behaviour witnessed.
Our number one priority for Tasmania Police is to ensure that all Tasmanian roads remain safe, and we obviously want to ensure the safety of all road users.
Anyone can upload footage through Tasmania Police's Facebook page. Over the next 4 days, police say they will be out in full force targeting dangerous driving and hooning across the state. The public is also urged to supply video footage of any reckless behaviour witnessed.
Our number one priority for Tasmania Police is to ensure that all Tasmanian roads remain safe, and we obviously want to ensure the safety of all road users.
Anyone can upload footage through Tasmania Police's Facebook page. Days out from the biggest race of his career, Tasmanian trainer Adam Trinder says he's feeling relaxed ahead of Mystic Journey's Cox Plate run. All eyes will be on the mare this Saturday to see if she can make history.
Sharing a final moment in the Sprayton sunshine. As the Cox Plate nears, expectations aren't getting the better of Adam Trinder.
She's glowing in the coat, she's really bright about herself, but looks fit and healthy, so she's going to head to the Cox Plate in the best order that we can have her in.
The 4-year-old snared the spotlight after her All-Star Mile win in March.
Mystic Journey over the top takes the lead. She is what dreams are made of. Mystic Journey's won the All-Star Mile.
Her first try at a 2,000-metre run proved a struggle at the Turnbull Stakes. But she's now claimed the promising position of Barrier 6 on Saturday.
I think post-barrier draw and the racing for the last 3 weeks, people have started to remember about Mystic Journey again.
Mystic Journey sets sail tomorrow night. The wait will then be on to see if she can be the first Tasmanian mare to take out the Cox Plate. Breeder David Wishaw never imagined the filly was destined to become a superstar.
Dreams like this really are what get us out of bed as breeders, and no, we definitely didn't expect Mystic Journey to be running in a Cox Plate.
With rain forecast, Trinder just hopes the sun will also shine down on Moonee Valley. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Shocking footage has emerged of the moment a car almost ran down a man with a baby strapped to his chest. The footage shows the car stopped at the intersection on Brisbane Street near Tamer Street before running a red light at speed yesterday afternoon. The blue station wagon comes to a dramatic stop just inches away from the pedestrian before driving off. Police are investigating the matter and remind all motorists to be aware of pedestrians on the roadway. As summer approaches, Royal Lifesaving Tasmania is urging parents to keep watch of their children in or near water. A new report has found our state has the lowest amount of drownings for children under 5 nationwide.
A way to cool off on a hot day or just a fun activity, swimming can be enjoyed by people of all ages, but the risk of drowning triples when a child turns 1. A sobering reminder as we head into summer. Royal Lifesaving Tasmania urging parents to be vigilant and supervise their children around water.
All drownings are preventable. There's absolutely no reason at all other than lack of supervision. If you've got little people, you need to make sure that you keep watch.
It takes him, 2 seconds to crawl to the cupboard from across the kitchen, even quicker to get into the wrong thing.
Shocking statistics show nearly 500 children under the age of 4 have died in the past 17 years due to drowning, with more than 40% of these just 1 year old. The Keep Watch campaign highlighting the need to restrict a child's access to water, as well as teaching them safety skills.
I put her in swimming lessons so that I know as well as her how to be safe around the water.
Thankfully, drownings in Tasmania have decreased dramatically for children under 5, but the backyard pool remains the top place where these incidents occur. Pool owners are urged to check they have proper fencing with no faults. Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's next generation of road users have been given some tips from someone who makes a living behind the wheel. Tasmanian Formula 3 driver Alex Peroni throwing his support behind the state government's new Quality Time campaign.
He may make it look easy in a racing car, but things didn't come quite so naturally for Alex Peroni learning to drive around the streets of Hobart.
For him, 60 kilometres an hour is just pretty much standing still, because his brain is used to making 300 look quite manageable.
Reverse parking or indication or even with lights and things like that, because I don't have that in the race car. So Dad had to teach me from the start, and he was very strict on it, and I struggled a lot.
Having recently been involved in one of the worst crashes seen in motorsports in recent times, Peroni was all too happy to be the face of the state government's latest bid to keep Tasmanians safe on the roads.
You don't really know what it's like to be in a crash until you experience it, and obviously I was just trying to get that message across that it's a horrible experience.
With the aim to reduce the number of deaths and serious injuries to 0 by 2050, the campaign encourages learner drivers to spend more quality time behind the wheel with a supervisor, with research showing that 80 to 120 hours of practice can significantly reduce the risk for a young driver when the time finally comes for them to hit the road solo.
And a message as well to both the learner and the supervisor, be patient with each other. We know it can be very frustrating, but be assured that the extra hours in the more conditions more often is going to lead to a safer young driver.
Tom Cooper, 7 Tasmania News.
A whale has died on a beach near Bridport after becoming stranded. The whale was alive when it was first reported today, but died soon after. Wildlife biologists are working to determine the cause of death, but it appears the whale had a long-term underlying issue. This is the second whale to die in just over a week, with a pygmy whale found dead at a separate beach near Bridport. A splash of colour has been added to the side of a popular Hobart park with a new bright mural aiming to draw attention to road safety in the area. Year 2 students from Lansdowne Crescent Primary spending the last 18 months adding their creative touch to Cooldew Park.
All these beautiful ideas came from the community about how we can brighten our streets, brighten the streets and, you know, slow the traffic down and just make it a little bit more fun.
The mural also acknowledging the playground's 100-year anniversary. Dairy Australia's latest outlook has found milk production in Tasmania is lagging because of a shortage of feed. Dry weather and high costs are weighing down farmers nationwide despite record farm gate milk prices. The report has forecast a national decrease of between 3 and 5%. Families and young children across the state have gathered for Today's the Day the Teddy Bears have their picnic, an event in Launceston City Park bringing together community organisations, families and their fluffy friends. Celebrating the theme of this year's Children's Week, children have the right to be healthy, safe and happy.
It's really nice to have some great things on offer, free events for families to attend. But I think here it's a really nice way for friends and families to come together as well and to, like I said, connect with other organisations.
Children's Week activities will be occurring across the state until October 27. Nominees have been announced for the 2019 ACTA Awards, with productions filmed in Tasmania receiving multiple nominations. Comedy series Rosehaven receiving a nomination for Best Comedy Program and Best Performance in a Television Comedy. The film The Nightingale has received 15 nominations, including Best Casting, Costume Design and Screenplay.
The Tasmanian Tigers have pulled off an impressive win against the star-studded New South Wales outfit in the side's one-day cup clash in Sydney. After limiting the impact of the Blues' best batsman, the Tigers' order then fired up at the crease. After David Warner's day was ended on just 4, young quick Riley Meredith set his sights on the world's best batsman.
Gone. Smith.
Daniel Hughes then throwing Moses Henriques under the bus.
Oh, that's out, surely.
Hughes set about making up for the blunder and getting the Blues back on track as Matthew Gilkes loaded up.
And that is smashed out of the ground.
New recruit Nathan Ellis eventually claiming Hughes on 44 en route to a 5-wicket haul before Gilkes fell victim to some Clive Rose spin.
Out. He'll be happy with that. That's exactly what they needed, and it was the informed Gilkes as well, so that is a big wicket for the Tigers.
Peter Neville, the best of the Blues order, putting on 56 to help the side along to 237. Tigers openers Ben McDermott and Caleb Jewell didn't waste any time chasing it down.
Oh, he's got that in the middle of the bat. And over the fence and onto the hill.
Jewell refusing to be outdone.
This is a chance of getting into it. No, it's not. It's gone way over the top of Fine Leg's head.
Aussie Test hopeful Josh Hazlewood getting his revenge soon after.
There it is there. Clean bowl.
Bo Webster doing his bit for the cause as the visitors edged comfortably towards a winning total. McDermott going on to notch up another first-class 50 before Nathan Lyon finally found the answer.
Reverse and the wickets. Pushed through maybe a little bit quicker.
Hazlewood sending a message to selectors, dismissing Webster on 25. Jordan Silk steadying the ship and helping to steer the Tigers towards a likely victory as George Bailey turned back the clock.
And then he does that. Really well played. That'll annoy Nathan Lyon.
The veteran notching up his half-ton in style, with Silk then following suit.
That's uppish, but it's gone.
Bailey, the final wicket to fall on 67, but it was little consolation for the Blues as Silk put the finishing touches on the 6-wicket win with 5 overs to spare. And finally in sport, Formula 3 driver Alex Peroni remains on track to make a return back into racing in 2020 following his horror crash at Italy's Monza circuit last month.
The aim is to do F3 next year again, and that starts in March, so we're working towards that. There's a lot of hurdles in the way before the first race, but that is aim.
A fundraiser is being held on November 15 at Rest Point Casino to help the Tasmanian cover some of the costs involved to get back into the sport.
Good evening. Campania and Fingal our warmest today with 26 degrees, Hobart 23, Launceston 20, Burnie 19 and Devonport 14 degrees. After some morning cloud over the North and Tamar Valley, we had a sunny day over the state. Ouse reached 25, St Helens and Grove 24, Lyre-Weenie 22, Smithton 21 and Friendly Beaches and King Island 20. Strawn 17 but just 15 on Flinders Island. And a little low-level cloud over the south, more over the waters to the west and south of the state. A little smoke over the central north with a tad of patchy cloud, but not much going on. Thunderstorm activity is brewing over the interior of Western Australia and along the Northern Territory-Queensland border. Onshore cloud evident over coastal Queensland, but most of the nation cloud-free tomorrow. Also a high over the Tasman Sea extends a ridge over the eastern states. A cold front over far south-east WA pushes out over the southern ocean. The winds east to northeasterly at 10 to 20 knots, tending northeast-northwesterly during the morning, then increasing to 25 knots in the afternoon and up to 30 knots over the west and lower east in the evening. So we do have a strong wind warning. That's current for western coastal waters between Low Rocky Point and Stanley. Royal Hobart Show Day tomorrow. Mostly sunny and 27 degrees. The chance of a shower, but just a 5% chance. 27 for Cygnet and New Norfolk sunny as well, up to 30 degrees. Launceston 26, early fog, a sunny afternoon. 20 the top for Devonport. Early fog for Campbelltown, a sunny day and 26 the top. 20 the high for Burnie, bit of cloud about. Sunny for Strawn, 29 the maximum and 21 the top for Smithton. And St Helens, 26 degrees, cloud clearing, mostly sunny for Swansea, 26 as well, and warming up to 29 at Fingal. Friday, showers developing over the west and extending mainly to the north later, windy over the east of the state. Showers on Saturday pushing across Tasmania, along with snow to 900 metres, and on Sunday mainly fine and partly cloudy, apart from a shower over the west and far south. Partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow, a hot day prior to a late cool change in Adelaide, hot and sunny over Melbourne, 31 in Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane well into summer weather as well. And Joe, it's partly cloudy here at the moment as we look forward to a very warm day tomorrow.
We certainly do. Thanks for that, Murph. That's all from the news team for now. Have a lovely evening. Good night.